Whippo. We've seen him have monstrous teamfight impact before. In game 1, can he look to do the same thing? And quote-unquote immobile.
Yeah, I seem to remember a Mordekaiser counter pick into a certain York that got very dangerous, but Inspired is here.
Inspired's here, and Whippo's already got the passive heal. Goes for the Q2. A little bit more damage is all they need. The stun is there. Q3, first blood for Whippo and FlyQuest.
This is what we expected to see based on what we saw in the draft. By rounding out with the Sejuani, the passive synergizes nicely with the Aatrox, and getting this Aatrox ahead is much needed in the matchup.
And that was a no-base Sejuani. Base one now on bottom side, though.
Yeah, Beishwan wants to find some impact on the other side of the map. Busio flashes over. Beishwan's ready to follow. Busio's got the shield to keep himself protected. Beishwan's going deep underneath the turret. A third shot's going to fire out, and Beishwan's down to 150 HP. A little bit of protection from On as he tries to make sure that his jungler is able to get away. The Mystic shot missed, and Inspired stops him just in time. Beishwan's already used his summoner spells, and Inspired sends him packing. A delayed 1-for-1 trade on the beat.
All right, so as we we can already get very excited here, but as we get back to live, another leash, and the root does land.
Yeah, the Mantra Q to follow it up, and Masu is in hot pursuit. Elk in full retreat as On's going to eat a lot of damage on the back end of things as well. Feet of Warfare claimed. Masu and Busio.
But they could just actually go straight towards the dragon, and FlyQuest not really in a position to contest. On the top side of the map, you can see that Bin is developing a bit of a CS advantage, but securing that play.
Exactly, the Glacial Prison is ready to fire. As long as it's not blocked by a Nico clone, they're going to be in a real good spot. On is already down, and the prison finds its way onto Elk. Now he's got
the best team in the West. Now the collapse from Knight sets his sights onto Whippo.
Knight looking for the FlyQuest top laner. Whippo using the World Ender to get a little bit of extra space as Beishwan goes in. Masu under pressure now. BLG's jungler with a ton of damage. The Tangle Barbs follow it up, and Beishwan is doing a lot of work with On right behind him. Busio's got to try to get away next. Nice stun from Inspired, looking to protect his support as Beishwan and On continue applying the pressure. Knight's arrived, and he buries Busio in the weirding.
Yeah, I almost said Knight and Knight because of the damn Nico, but now we'll see if BLG can maintain enough control to secure this objective, or if FlyQuest will be able to walk up and try to challenge. Busio, Inspired, and Quad all walking over. Masu's still in mid, but the Ezreal is almost completely out of mana. There's very, very little that he can try to contribute to this, as now On's going to use the Pop Blossom, lock up Inspired, but it's a one-man Nico ulti. Now On's about to die. Inspired throwing the Glacial Prison backwards. Beishwan's about to drop, and he falls instead of his own ultimate. Now On still able to get himself away as Bin and Whippo join the fight. Knight has to continue his retreat, and Whippo's still chasing. FlyQuest get one kill, and it's on the enemy jungler. Now the dragon, still leashed from earlier, goes their way too.
Inspired taking the initiative to take over.
Poke. Remember, we said in the draft, FlyQuest have a lot of poke at their disposal. They need to play patient. That was a scary situation there for Quad, but BLG have regained control.
Ooh, nice seismic shove there onto Bin, but remember, he is very tanky against that magic damage, but not the physical follow-up. Masu putting a ton of damage into him, but all goes in! Bullet time over the top! And FlyQuest evaporate a beautiful combo from the BLG bot lane duo to instantly win the fight. Busio has to flash away now as he and Inspired try to retreat. Whippo goes in, Inspired tries to follow, but FlyQuest may have overplayed their hand. Whippo wants a little bit more. Busio doesn't have the firepower to secure any kind of a kill. FlyQuest still scrapping back here as Whippo continues chasing BLG away, but it's still two dead FlyQuest players, and BLG.
But the Herald still alive for now as BLG set their sights on the Whippo.
Whippo's got to try to get out of this one, but a 1v3, it doesn't seem likely. Beishwan, Bin, and Knight have more than enough damage to take care of this target, but On's going to show up for the Tangle Barbs just to guarantee it. BLG get kill number 6.
I was worried for BLG because, again, I thought that they'd overcommitted because they were forced to reset, and the FlyQuest reset back out onto the map, man, they could have started the Herald. Instead, they just looked to get control of the waves. Whippo gets picked on the top side, and now they have numbers advantage on the Herald.
Yeah, they're teleporting Quad in right now, so Talia coming with the wall.
Beautiful engage coming out there from Inspired, though. Beishwan almost dead here at the very start of the fight, but he does manage to get enough distance until Masu shifts over the wall to take him down. Now Bin's got to try to run, but he's stunned up by the Sejuani yet again. Masu and Quad putting the bullets into Bin's back, and Quad gets another kill. A seismic shove after, but it's only a Nico clone. Aurora combo, but still Knight finding him there with the skill shots as FlyQuest will immediately use the Herald mid lane. Now, Elk can use bullet time to just instantly clear out the entirety of the wave, but there's still the Herald ready to crash into the turret. Remember, they don't have any grubs, so you're not going to get a whole lot of extra value by driving it in there, as Knight is still trying to take down this tier 1 turret here in the top lane. Whippo goes in for the World Ender, wants to challenge Knight, Q2, to try to stop him as he hops away. Knight goes between worlds and manages to get himself away to safety in the river. That's 2 ultimates down, 1 on either side. Inspired going in after Beishwan, chasing after the Xinjiao, as On fires Tangle Barbs backwards, trying to slow down Quad, as Beishwan escapes with an audacious charge over the wall to the red buff.
Skirmish after skirmish. I feel like there was a big window for FlyQuest to just force the dragon there, because we saw
rotating over. It looks like they do have the teleport option for Knight, so even though Knight doesn't have his ultimate, he could teleport in.
Yeah, Inspired jumps over the wall with a blast cone, but he only finds the remains of the Drake as BLG have completed the objective. FlyQuest won't be there in time to try to get anything back. So
as they try to move in.
Okay, TP coming in. We'll see. You've already got On in the control ward inside the pit. Whippo's gonna be the front line here. There's your Pop Blossom, but it only finds the tanks. A lot of damage there with Whippo as he flashes back over the wall with the bullet time. Looking to cut him down a little lower. Quad fires back. Inspired's on a rampage, and On's already down. Elk and Knight firing into Inspired as Ben has to flash away. Knight wants to go between worlds, but Inspired's dancing all around him. Whippo on the front line as Quad gets another kill, and BLG are falling to pieces. Masu kills Elk, and Knight goes over the wall. Ben's dead body won't get anything, and FlyQuest just killed.
I'm becoming a believer in the Aatrox. Let's take a look at it. As you say, On from the brush with the control ward does lock up the front.
Important to note too, Kobe, you mentioned it, but Whippo had just purchased the Sterix right before he teleported into that fight. It was an absolutely critical break point to allow him to survive and FlyQuest to win that fight. If he didn't have the gold that he did, it wouldn't have worked. Inspired! It's a point-and-click ability when he's playing Sensual.
Inspire doing so much work this game. He's only missed out on participating in a single kill in the entire...
I was a little bit concerned because they were losing out on farm and experience. They pretty much neutralized that disadvantage. And now with the dragon spawning in 5 seconds, oh, they don't care about that. They just want more control. They want more picks.
Yeah, On is in some danger here. Has to try to get away, but Whippo's ready to follow it up. Goes for the Infernal Chains. On! There's not enough clones to get away from that Aatrox.
That tower, and they're going to steal away the blue buff as on top of it. Let's see, wait, dragon approach. They're going to try and force their way in.
That blue buff steal was very important. Quad and Masu, both at below half mana, has now been here in the front line. Just getting shredded by Masu and Whippo. BLG trying to regroup. Keep your eyes on. We'll see if this Nico can find a big Pop Blossom. His flash cooldown is almost ready to go. Inspired here in the front line. On goes in. He finds the Pop Blossom into Masu. FlyQuest AD carry is still alive, and he's trying to get away as Whippo wants to peel. Masu stays alive. Whippo here in the front line, but he's all alone. Quad firing damage into the health bars, but the shutdown goes over to On's Nico. Knight continuing to try to look for Masu, seeing if maybe he can try to pick him off. Quad and Busio still healthy, firing their skill shots towards BLG, trying to buy a little bit more time to keep BLG away from Soul Point. Masu's gonna go ahead and recall. Inspired is making his way back out onto the map as Busio marks Knight and finds him with the Q inside the pit. Ben blocking, trying to just get in the way of all the skill shots from Quad, and the Dragon and Soul Point are secured by BLG.
The damage still comes through, though. Bin going to be rooted up.
Bin pretty tanky, though, if the only damage is the support to jungler, and Quad's to Leah, but he's not tanky enough. Quad goes on a killing spree, and Elk's the next target. He uses the cleanse to try to use the blast cone to get away, but Quad jumps in right on top of him. Knight wants to fire back, and it makes it a 1-for-1. A double for Quad, but it's ended by Elk. Now, Knight tries to get away too. He goes between worlds. It's enough to get him out of there. Busio's low, but Beishwan can't finish the job. Whippo's ready to spread his wings and run forward, and Masu has rejoined the battle. Beishwan's locked up, and FlyQuest wants more blood. On's about to drop right next to his jungler, and FlyQuest is racking up a body count.
Props to FlyQuest for recognizing
they back, but then the exact same play happens in response. And I think FlyQuest could have made a play for the Baron, but they were hungry for kills.
All right, Ben and Knight gonna find Whippo here with the brushes on, goes for the engage. It's a catch under Quad. FlyQuest mid laner was about to die, but he kites it out and kills On instead. Beishwan and Knight get the job done, and Quad's gonna be traded. But FlyQuest still looks to continue the scrap. Everybody else on BLG still standing tall, but a Root ready to come out forces the ulti out of in. He doesn't get a lot of distance, but he does get away for now. Masu still firing Mystic shots as BLG regroup under the tier 1 turret. The fact that this is still...
Bwipo on the front line, ready to match the aggression of BLG. Right now, it's Bwipo sitting on a side lane, really reaching that raid boss status. Elk in a bit of danger.
Yeah, you can see Masu's Mystic shot with all of the cooldown reduction that he has. Just has no cooldown, but there, Quad gonna be caught out again, but he gets himself away. Now bullet time is down. Now the ulti from the Aurora is not ready either. Inspired jumps in, BLG retreating. Bwipo coming around on the flank as Ben is gonna be stunned up here on the front line. There's the tank for BLG running away with almost no HP left to play with. Inspired catches Beishwan, and Masu's ready to follow. Bwipo chasing on the back end of the fight, and he stabs Beishwan through the heart. First kill over to FlyQuest there as Elk has to run. Masu and Quad still firing, and FlyQuest have killed the enemy jungler. They put the enemy support on his last legs, and they're heading over to the Baron.
They've got to go start it up, Flowers. The FlyQuest war machine here does not stop. The Sejuani and Aatrox, if they can delay, and they actually have good positioning on the Dragon.
Okay. Last cone still up for now. Ben looking to go for the decimating smash. Knight wants to get away, but Bwipo is on the punt. He's immediately going to chase after Knight. Forces him down to about 10% HP, and the flash is already gone from the BLG mid. Now Ben's about to get stunned up, but he uses the ulti to buffer through the Sejuani CC. Bwipo continuing to pose a threat here on the sidelines as FlyQuest have taken control of the bot side river. They're going to secure the Drake.
Bwipo knows his job well. Constantly we see him going to attack this Aurora, attack the attempted flanker.
Steal that team-wide blue buff away. Does get away from being potentially caught there. FlyQuest pushing onto the tier 2.
Critically, Knight saved his ultimate, so maybe they want to go for a counterplay.
Inspired jumping in there. Elk takes a ton of damage. True Shot Barrage nearly kills him off. Elk's got to go all the way back to the fountain, and FlyQuest are kicking in the front door. Bottom lane tier 3 turret destroyed. Inhibitor is the next target. FlyQuest will clean up both before BLG are able to regroup and respond.
I was worried, but
being given over by BLG as they retreat, knowing that one more bad fight is just the end of the game. FlyQuest have the time to take out the tier 2 in the top lane. The gold lead extends to 9,000. The catch again from Inspired as On dies before he can find anything. There's your clutch factor. There's your Pop Blossom. Gone the next 30 seconds.
FlyQuest, they're looking to take another tower. They're looking for the Nexus towers. They're looking to take game 1 of this series.
FlyQuest onto the second inhibitor here in mid lane. Quad also clearing the minions out from bottom as the super minions are about to start flowing in. Knight in some danger, has to try to get himself away from this, but he's already lost half HP. Wave crashing into the tier 3 turret top. That last inhibitor will not last long. FlyQuest using Masu and Bwipo to put the damage into that while everyone else man defense. But FlyQuest are undeterred. They'll keep the minion waves dying on spawn as they keep finding the pressure. On goes the engage, but there's no follow-up. Masu's on a rampage. Beishwan dies as he tries to jump into the fight. It's only a matter of time for BLG as FlyQuest have no mercy at the Nexus. Masu is unstoppable, and for the first time this game, Knight will fall, as will his Nexus. FlyQuest on home turf are going to win the first game.
You do have a lot of all-in potential, and you do look to stack Drakes and try and use your Annie Wukong core that you drafted for early on. So for a little bit of a timing advantage, puts down his ward, and
oh, immediately though, On and Elk going in. Masu in danger. The Callista. The bailout could proc here as Elk tries to get away over the wall, and the first blood is there. FlyQuest can't bail Masu out in time. Busio needs one more hit to make it a 1-for-1, but now On hits the Shattering Strike. Busio levels up to 4. Rel versus Renata.
You can see that he's built up a pretty healthy jungle camp lead, and then even though FlyQuest, the Wukong is continuing to clear camps, the cost of that is the draft.
And if you're out farming Renekton early with this powerful late game scaling tank, I feel like Ben's loving the current state of things. Busio taking a ton of damage. On with the big engage. Magnet Storm as Elk Valk in. Busio's about to die, but he barely stays alive. Now Beishwan showed up. Masu and Busio trying to get away. Masu flashing to try to survive it, and somehow FlyQuest.
In 4 out of 5 rolls, yes, a lot of them are very small, but the 2 biggest leads are for Knight and Elk.
I will say, on the 1-item power spike, as we see Bwipo going in.
Yeah, we do have a couple of problems here for Beishwan. Gets stunned up by Quad, and Bwipo.
It gives you BLG already melting through this dragon. It's going to be uncontested. Like, coming into this game, something we talked a lot about in the draft was...
We'll have a level 2 Chaos Storm for the next big fight. Quad, only level 9 on the Annie, of course, about to tick level 10 as soon as he kills 1 or 2 minions here. But Knight definitely getting the better of the mid lane matchup in this second game. Beishwan versus Inspired 1v1. Inspired's ready to commit the Cyclone. Meanwhile, over in mid lane, Masu's going to be under pressure. Inspired putting the damage into Beishwan. He's already found the kill there. Now Busio and Masu going in after out. Plenty of damage here into the Corki. The bailout for Callista saves her life, but Ben's made his way into the fight. BLG turn it around, and Inspired's got to try to run. Busio fires off a hostile takeover, and Inspired's running for the hills. Busio's got to try to flash to escape, and BLG fire back.
Yeah, the teleport means they do get a kill back. Quad, though, teleports right back out. Knight is in the bot lane matching him.
Okay, plate gold plus 2 extra plates, 250 gold there for BLG over FlyQuest as Quad and Inspired gonna find Bin here in this tribe rush. Inspired jumps in, the Herald still the focus for BLG. TP coming in to try to bring everybody here for the fight as Bwipo's already popped the dominance. Massive damage back in the Quad, and he's already down, but Knight's about to be the same. Mid laners into the picture. Inspired still spinning here with the Cyclone as he tries to get away from Elk. He'll survive for the moment and still stay alive. Busio hit by the call of the Forge God, and now the Renata is down. Bwipo's already lost his ultimate, and BLG bury FlyQuest in the river.
In the extended fight, BLG get the better of FlyQuest. They go a step too far, and they get punished.
You have to point out, it is a 1-level lead, a full level for Knight over Quad, and the Rod of Ages has not yet procced. Mid lane is about to go from bad to worse here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, trying to do a little bit of cross map there for FlyQuest, but definitely losing out even more on the play. Quad is just so far behind here on the Annie. This is dangerous to hold.
And we're seeing a very similar story to what we saw in game 1 in terms of the gold right now. Quad in some danger, trying to play to the side to use the flash if he has to. Remember that the Tibbers is already down. He does not have that big team fight mechanism. Trying to step up and see what he can do. Busio's thrown in the middle of everybody. The hostile takeover fires out, but On's got a massive counter engage coming out with a Magnet Storm. Inspired, double knock up here with a Cyclone as On's taking a ton of damage, and Masu's already got the first kill. The bailout's not going to be enough, and Beishwan might just be croc food. Nice kill for Bwipo, but Bin's in the middle of everybody. Inspired flashes to try to stay alive, but Elk guns him down. Double kill to the Corki as FlyQuest are hurting and stumbling away.
It's a battle.
That tankier version of the control mage up there.
Level 15.
Yeah, this is kind of a nightmare for Quad. Knight just needs the slightest amount more EXP to be those full 3 levels.
For BLG, Knight is able to push mid lane, so Bwipo has to show and catch it.
Elk and Ben just going to go ahead, get this wave pushed up, try to clear this out, but immediately Busio and Masu are ready to go right after out. The Corki's in danger, but he hasn't been killed off yet. Now Masu and Busio are going to be in trouble. FlyQuest is split up. Masu's going to die here at the very start unless he gets bailed out, but Ben's already killed him. FlyQuest are scattering, but BLG are also low. Knight's here on the front line, as Inspired can't find a whole lot else just yet. Goes in for the Cyclone, 2-man knockup, and On is down. Inspired trying to keep the fight going as he flashes away from the laser of Knight. The Victor with a flash follow as Bwipo heals back up and takes out Beishwan. He might just be able to bail out, but just at the very last second he doesn't. Busio still gets the shutdown, but FlyQuest will be aced. Knight and Bin finish off the last kill, and BLG
damage from Knight. Protect his AD carry for a little bit longer before he falls.
We're already back into the fight as Inspired's exhausted here in the front line. Bin's just juggling him around, and FlyQuest have already lost their jungler. On is low, and Bwipo's in the middle of everybody as Beishwan has to try to retreat, but Quad dies to the laser with a Chaos Storm. Busio's the next to fall, and Knight is a hurricane in this team fight. BLG tear FlyQuest apart.
Is that Knight from Arcane? He's not even done, boys.
Masu gonna try to get away from this one, but that's Kalista versus Knights Victor, and it's not gonna look too good. You'd have to think Masu falls, and
The complete wombo combo that deletes Inspired right at the very beginning of the
Have
fight.
not been playing like that in this game too. They've been coordinating very well. They're having a much better game, and now they're going in after Bwipo. Inspired's already here as well, and Beishwan has jumped in. He's already lost his shield. Inspired is low from Knight's damage, but Masu's about to die instantly. Knight's already gone like Inspired and Masu are both down. Bwipo's got Asterix, but it won't keep him alive much longer. BLG are so far ahead, and they're making sure FlyQuest knows it.
BLG with another fantastic collapse. Beishwan starts off the fight in what seems to be a very scary way for BLG, instantly losing his life. But on the top
base.
That siege is not going to take very long to accomplish.
At these towers over and over and over, and slowly whittle away. Not slowly, quickly.
No, that's a
Bin's just staying close enough to keep them all enchanted with the Baron, while the remaining 4 players on BLG make very short work of the tier 3 turret in mid. Now the second inhibitor is already down, and BLG will make it a quick one if they have their way. Elk firing some poke. Masu's already at half HP. First Nexus turret about to die as Bwipo goes into Dominus, and BLG happy to just wait it out and continue poking. The minions still alive. FlyQuest struggling even to clear these away. Bwipo is going to lose his ultimate before the fight even starts. Beishwan goes in for quad. He tries to get away with a flash. Chaos Storm still burning him down, and Knight is legendary. FlyQuest, blink and you'll miss him. BLG wipe him off the rift. A triple kill to Knight as Bwipo gets away back into the fountain. He'll stay alive, but the Nexus won't. BLG!
Really like this, what FlyQuest are cooking here, because they have so much counter-engage. They have the ability to play side lanes with the Rise plus Global Ultimate of Ascena, and they have Poppy for
down to shove.
It was pushing back. It was building up, pushing back.
Those mid laners going to return to their lane as a trade comes through. Hook connects once more.
Yeah, Busio still in some danger down here. The Ignite's already been used. Busio with the counterattack, headbutt pulverize, but there's not a lot of power early on from Masu Senna. Busio forced to use his summoner spells defensively to get away safely, but no! Masu drops instead, and Elk and On are running the 2v2 in game 3.
Very nice punish from the BLG bot lane. As Inspired on the Dragon.
Inspired's jumping in, and a teleport's coming in from FlyQuest side as well. Bwipo's making his way down, and since Bwipo shows up, Inspired forces Beishwan to flash back out over the wall, and this will be a Dragon leashed for FlyQuest.
And so we'll see in the next 5 to 10 minutes when BLG start to turn it on, and they start to go very aggressive for their kills.
Like they're doing right now. Beishwan, level 6 on the Vi, immediately engages on Busio. Dawning Shadow from Masu can't save him. It's a 1-0 for BLG as On gets away with 100 HP. Beishwan, level 6, first here in the jungle, and it pays off for BLG.
BLG's comp just has so many playmakers on it. The hook CC that's provided by the Nautilus. Oh, Inspired has found Vi.
Yeah, Inspired jumping in there for the slam into the wall. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the Realm Warp coming in as Bin has to run towards the FlyQuest side. Bwipo drops the ultimate down for the Cannon Barrage to slow the Ambessa, but now Bwipo's got to be careful. Quad with the flash to guarantee that Bin doesn't get an outplay. FlyQuest are finally on the board. Up here on the top side, Masu cancels his own recall, and with Inspired jumping in there and forcing Beishwan away from the Void Grub pit, now Beishwan has made his way back towards it with the control over the top side from Elk and On.
And he has his flash up. Well, it's pretty deep.
Yeah, he's very far forward now. TP's coming in for both sides. Bwipo gonna tank some damage here at the start, down to about half HP. Flashes away from the hook, but Knight's ready to follow. Dawning Shadow for the shield onto Bwipo. The charm hits, but the orange won't save him. Now, On, stuck, rounded, rooted up, and he'll be burst down next. Inspired grabs the kill as Busio jumps forward, but Knight's already cleared the distance. FlyQuest making a 1-for-1, but Masu's gonna drop if he's not careful. BLG successfully get their carries
back for that death. They spent so many resources up to the top side of the map, so BLG, they just get the bottom side money for Bin and the Dragon for themselves.
Exactly, Kobe. It was just such a huge
Just
investment.
continues scrapping with Bwipo's gangplank. The shield's making it so Bwipo doesn't even get any valuable damage in return.
Perfect execution. Bin jumps in. Bwipo about to fall, and Bin gets the solo kill.
Bin getting rich is
Great awareness of not only do I have more levels, so I've got now more CDR, but also I just have more damage than you. Takes an initial trade, fully commits, and now it's Busio in danger.
Busio pops the unbreakable will immediately as BLG engage on him, and now he has no powerful defensive tool. Quad's in danger as Knight uses the Spirit Rush immediately, going point blank with Quad. He lands the charm right into the eye, follow up. There's the dredge line too. BLG have so many tools, and they're beating FlyQuest to death with them.
And this is what we talked about in the draft. BLG don't have to slow the game down. They have so many ways to force skirmishes, force collapses, and this was another fantastic collapse. They got control over the mid wave. They moved into the topside jungle. Quad doesn't respect the potential collapse, and now Inspired gets hooked.
Inspired just going where he has no business being. Onsi's free money presenting itself, and he is happy to collect.
BLG, they are not slowing down at all. It's going to be a steamroll here. They're getting out of control with the amount of money. That's going to be the tower as well.
This is almost a 4,000 gold lead with that first turret falling. 14 minutes into the game, by far the most one-sided early game in the series. Here in game 3, BLG are absolutely dominating FlyQuest.
They get the flash out from Quad as well.
Because look at how deep those wards are. Whenever BLG take over an area of the map, you can see leaving behind a bunch of vision right here. That just enables further picks for them. So FlyQuest, their goal of trying to farm up and play the map, well, they're going to go for that bin.
They've got to try to get this here as Bin wanted to use the perfect execution on Quad, but a nice sidestep means no way out for Ambessa. Inspired picks up the kill. The lead for BLG back down to 3,000, but that's still a commanding advantage. Busio looking for even more, but a TP from BLG on. Flash dredge line finds Quad. The Rise the immediate target, and BLG has found another kill. Now FlyQuest scrambling to keep the fight going as Knight is ejected. Keeper's verdict might try to save him as On's about to drop next. FlyQuest are going to find On. FlyQuest are going to find another on Beishwan, and FlyQuest win the fight. The gold lead drops from 3,000 down to 2. Masu stepping away from the Spirit Orb, and FlyQuest will finally stop the fight.
That game continues to be on point. We're getting closer to 20 minutes, and he's well on pace to get above the 50 stacks mark. BLG, though, they're not going to slow down their aggression. They know they're in the driver's seat. They've set their eyes on the top side of the map, and they want to contest this tier 2 tower.
Meanwhile, you're going to see Inspired working on the next Drake. BLG, though, happy to trade dragons for gold here as they'll secure the tier 2 in the top lane. That is BLG grabbing their second.
Steal the Raptors, take that gold for themselves. Yeah, BLG pushing it forward, though, getting a secondary one. I think FlyQuest, honestly, are still we're kind of at a little bit of a tipping point here, though. BLG, they can tip over and get a couple more big objectives for themselves. They already are taking over a large area of the map, and more area means more possibilities of picking off FlyQuest members and getting that gold. So 2 more outer towers going the way of BLG means they can set up this vision. So many shields on the enemy team, but Otacon's already started up Flowers.
Yeah, the Otacon's down to half HP. On's not going to hit his dredge line. FlyQuest is on the approach. BLG backing up a little bit here as Masu tries to enter in. Cannon Barrage already used, forcing BLG back. Now Otacon down to 3,000 HP. FlyQuest still thinking about it, but Keeper's Verdict was already used. West! Stolen away by Beishwan. Absolutely massive there. But what about the rest of the fight? BLG backing up now. They've lost On, but they claim the On's death timer just now ending. He's got to make his way back out onto the rift the long way. Nautilus forced to walk all the way down here as FlyQuest hanging out in the brush. Busio goes in for the 2-man knockup. Bin and Elk, though, not under a whole ton of pressure. Dawning Shadow. Busio still alive as Quad has to be careful here in the front line. Beishwan's in the back. Pressure onto FlyQuest carries as Masu stays alive, but Quad is already down. Beishwan dies next. On, tanking on the front line as Busio dies to Elk. The killer instinct from BLG is there. Knight tries to escape. Inspired needs more damage, and he finally finds him. Shut down over to Bwipo, though, but Elk hunts him down. It's a 2v1 left on the map. 3 dead on BLG, 4 dead on FlyQuest. It's a Bot River bloodbath.
It's an insanely close fight between the two, but Elk was the difference maker. Patient with his ultimate. He does not go in too early, recognizing...
Yeah, you could say that's effective. That is a very effective Kai'Sa right there. And we'll see if they can find their engage over the wall.
On, gonna get jumped on here by Busio and Bwipo together, but now immediately Matsu's about to die at the very start. He's barely hanging on as Quad goes into the stasis, but now he's dead. Matsu's down too. BLG have cut everybody on FlyQuest to pieces, and Busio and Inspired have to try to get away. Ben goes in for the perfect execution as Busio drops. It's 2 for 5, and BLG are still standing.
That's gonna do it for BLG. They should be able to take the Baron afterwards and the tower at the same time. They just deleted Quad and Masu right at the beginning of this fight.
With an immediate engage over the wall, he gets knocked out of the fight, but being clumped up like this, with Elk's positioning fine and safe on the back line with the re-arrival of Knight, it just becomes the decimation of the FlyQuest roster as they find an ace and a Baron as well.
With the Otacon power, with the Baron power, BLG now have the tools to push in and close it up.
9,000 gold, the lead for BLG. They've got the Baron for the next 2.5 minutes. I would not be surprised at all to see them go for the kill shot. Why they still have this buff. Bwipo and Inspired trying to defend here at the tier 2 turret, but FlyQuest is now so far behind. We're past the realm where FlyQuest can try to make a big move of their own. They're going to need a mistake from BLG, but BLG have all been sending it all together all game long.
And FlyQuest, though, they still have to remain with the game plan. They're trying to play defense while get resources by split pushing. You see Rise on the top side of the map trying to push out, look for the objective bounty, while the rest of the team clears waves. Gangplank, very effective at clearing waves here. They're trying to buy themselves some time. They sacrifice that mid inhibitor. They have the Rise, accomplishing something with the split push, but it is a drop in the bucket at the moment.
On's going in immediately. Bwipo and Busio going to take half their health, but On is dead. Keeper's verdict knocks Elk out of the fight so that FlyQuest don't have to worry about the major carry.
Quad commits the TP. He was pushing on the top side of the map, but he wants to be here in the event that it could convert into a winning fight.
Both Elk is against you. If you can change the numbers in a very effective way, then maybe.
Right, On gets stunned by Inspired, but the Acathian Rain from Elk firing back. On very low on HP here, and Quad is going to get the kill. FlyQuest with another pop onto the support of BLG.
Sometimes it's just a brush camp as well. You put up your control wards, camp on your brush, get a pick.
Now Knight running away, trying to disengage. Busio looking for maybe if there was an opportunity to try to...
1,000 gold. Vancouver, do you believe in the defense? Do you believe in FlyQuest?
They seem to, as On tries to go in for the engage. Immediate Keeper's verdict to knock Knight back out of the fight. FlyQuest again will find the Nautilus.
That's another Nautilus.
They're going to start the Baron up themselves at the same time. They're not doing it particularly quickly, so FlyQuest are going to get the Drake and then Realm Warp up to try to stop them. It's the Cannon Barrage to start things off. Knight is trying to cover for the rest of BLG as they make their escape. The Baron starts to regenerate, and On is alive and back on the map. He's making his way up to the rest of BLG. Elk's at only about 60% health, but nobody seems to want any more. Not yet.
FlyQuest, the defense is good for now. Bin was thinking of flanking. He actually calls it off, though. Minions are on the inhibitor in the bottom lane. They have to go defend.
Close to a death cap. And we talked about it as a dream, but FlyQuest are looking to make the defense a reality.
Yeah, the teleport's coming in from Quad, and immediately it's going to be On in some danger again. Inspired slams him right back into the wall, and FlyQuest is moving forward. Baron down to 5,000. Inspired into the pit. Base one's ejected. Busio here on the front line. FlyQuest take the Baron. Now the follow-up fight slams Ben back into the wall. Base one's onto Masu, but it will not matter. There is no follow-up. Knight is crestfallen. There's nowhere for him to go, and Elk is hunted in the top side river. They lost their major weapon in the bottom lane. Elk dead for another 30 seconds. Realm Warp for the minions. FlyQuest going in.
Elk is dead for 30 more seconds. The wave, the damage is unavailable. This center is huge. FlyQuest
pushing for the first inhibitor. They're going to find it. 15 seconds on Bin, 15 seconds on Elk. FlyQuest making their way onto the Nexus turrets. Busio here in the front line as On tries to defend. Base One's going to be the next target. Base One barely getting away. Busio still alive. Knight goes on a killing spree. Inspired down to 200 HP. A little bit more damage kills him off. Bin jumps into into the fight as Beishuan's about to drop. They do secure the kill as Masu is still firing. Elk into the back line, and FlyQuest are aced!
The defense from BLG was strong enough to keep FlyQuest away from the Nexus. Knight did so much work. The arrival of Elk solidified it. They now have the minions and they're looking to close out this game.
FlyQuest thought they had the miracle angle. They tried to go for the end, but BLG stand tall. Bin's got the minions, and On's gonna join him. BLG will have free firing time on the Nexus turrets. It turned way closer than they thought, but BLG will secure the win and move to match point.
Magic damage out of the Maokai. I expect to probably see the Red Smite Leandries build at the very least on this to add some extra AP into the mix. And the final pick for FlyQuest will be the Hui that you guys...
From the early levels that we saw and that extra little fight that broke out around Raptors, it did draw Knight.
As FlyQuest trying to move up, stop some of these grub takes. The third grub is the only one left, and all three secured by BLG. Never mind, FlyQuest did get themselves the one. Now Masu under pressure from Knight. Massive Maokai ulti coming through. Inspired taking a ton of damage here on the front line, but the first kill's already going over to Knight. Beishuan, 200 HP, trying to get away, but Quad paints a picture, and it's a eulogy for BLG in the top river.
Quad actually smurfing. He predicted Beishuan's flash there to get the extra kill. 2 onto Quad, and Bwipo going pretty ham.
Yeah, he's using the showstopper. He's already pulled out the haymaker, though, so his health bar is pretty low. You can see him regenerating extra HP now as Busio joins up, but Bin has already taken Bwipo out of the picture. Now Busio trying to bait Bin in. Inspired shows up. He forces the flash back out of the Yorick, but Bin...
Regardless of the extra money that has gone into Bin recently,
a very
journey.
slow-paced early game here as Busio tries to go in for the Tempered Fate, but he won't land it onto Bin. A nice cage from the Yorick, but Bwipo's going to be the one tanking the turret into the haymaker.
Both with his own spells as well as maybe with creative magical journeys, but we're going to see an attempt at Bin.
Yeah, Bwipo flashes forward to go in for the face breaker. Bin tries to get away there, but Showstopper right back into the wall, and a haymaker isn't even needed. Inspired gets the kill with the damage over time from Subjugate, and now with Set and Trundle together, they've got the one Void Grub too. They'll knock down the turret in the top side.
Yeah, the stride breaker we were talking about completed for him. He tackles him into the wall again.
But now a play being made in the mid lane. Busio's in danger, but the Tempered Fate stops Elk before he can do the last little bit of damage. Busio gets himself away. Beishuan and Knight going for the dive to the bottom lane at the same time. Quad's gonna be the target. Spiraling Despair back into Beishuan. He gets away, and BLG get the dive done.
A nice dive from BLG, but the counter response from FlyQuest. These Bash brothers are just bashing their way through the top towers. Nothing stands in their way as Masu now in danger.
Yeah, Masu way too close to danger here with On and Elk ready, but immediately the Bash Bros are ready to back him up. The haymaker won't hit the target of the curtain call is open. On gets away.
That's a close one. On just barely able to escape.
Great. You know, the positioning on a Set ultimate could change an entire team fight. His flash cooldown critical as well. Nice.
On gonna get chased down now. The magical journey looking after him. Nice Tempered Fate there on Knight. On's the first to die. Knight's gonna follow, and FlyQuest just murdered 2 of them.
Run them down, Flowers. That's what you said, and they do
Gonna
that.
be secured by Inspired. And earlier we talked about how Quad was going to be the front line. Inspired is going to be primed, poised, and ready to fight any foe that runs into his path.
All right, Chains of Corruption hit him, but he's already underneath the tier 1 turret. A TP coming in for both sides now as FlyQuest bring Bwipo in. He's behind enemy lines, but he's very tanky. Bin can't say the same. He arrives only to die as BLG have to try to scatter now. Beishuan's caught by Spiraling Despair, and Bwipo's on a killing spree. BLG runs straight into the meat grinder, and FlyQuest are happy to turn it on.
They're going to chase them down. They're taking nothing from BLG. They're going to be able to get the Dragon. That's number 3, Dragon Soul Point achieved on top of the 3,000 gold lead.
Physical damage on BLG, that when these Bash Bros on the front line get fed and they start being able to itemize armor,
you got a problem. Knight is caught in the middle of his rocket jump, and FlyQuest will drown him in the river. Quad with another kill as on's the next target. Whippo chasing after him, shouldn't be able to get a whole lot here.
He's having an incredible performance. We knew his Bard was good, but FlyQuest are chasing for more.
They'll immediately take that tier 1. If they can escort this Herald in, they could try to get another slam into the tier 2, but it's going to get smoked down by Beishuan instead. Whippo flashes in for the face breaker. Double kill for Quad. FlyQuest are hungry for a game 5. They are 5,000 gold ahead.
They are grinding BLG into the dirt right now. It's only
To an uncomfortable situation. Knight is split pushing on the other side of the map, trying to get some gold back for his team. Whippo applies the slow. He's hunted Knight down.
Yeah, Whippo wants to at least force Knight to use the Buster shot, and there it'll go. But now, another point of pressure for FlyQuest. Another beautiful deadly flourish off the back of Busio, setting it up, and Elk is dead. Enemy AD carry down. Enemy mid laner under pressure. Whippo looking for a little bit more as Knight has to flash away just to rocket jump.
Players nearby as On and Beishuan try to step up, try to establish some little bit of vision control.
Omasu though, Knight jumping in, forcing the flash. Knight with a massive shutdown there to kill off the FlyQuest AD carry, but it will cost him severely as Inspired jumps in and beats him to death with the club. It's a 1-for-1.
their own to extend this game, or will FlyQuest just claim it?
14-3, favoring FlyQuest with the Hex Soul at about half HP. BLG looking for some kind of an angle to try to approach, but immediately Whippo already starts it up and Beishuan's under pressure. Nature's Grab fires out. Whippo's still here in the front line. On goes in for the charm onto Inspire. They've already got him low, but it ain't gonna be low enough. Masu with a first kill. FlyQuest one more. Whippo shielded up, but he finally dies. The soul is claimed by FlyQuest. And we end up getting
the Otacon force here from BLG. It is desperation.
It's a Hail Mary from BLG, but the Tempered Fate is already connected on to Knight. Deadly Flourish, but he buffers through it. Been in some danger already here on the front line, and he dies. Inspired dominating as the Otacon is left at half HP for FlyQuest. BLG still seeing if there's any chance for an angle here. Otacon at 5,000. FlyQuest with control over the pit, but they got to be careful to not tank too much. Deadly Flourish won't collide on a target, and now Whippo is still looking. The Otacon goes over to Inspired, and BLG will lose another objective. FlyQuest back up to a 5,000.
You want him back, don't you?
Of
Sorry,
course.
sorry, no deal.
I'm thinking, oh, the interrupt onto Knight. He's
Knight
trying
in
his best to
danger.
get away.
Immediately the deadly flourish. Masu's got the kill. Vengeance for Knight's earlier play in the mid lane. 25 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Knight dead for the next 40 seconds. Baron is the call for FlyQuest. BLG don't even look like they're going to try to respond.
An uncontested Baron. BLG are running out of options here in game 4. The ulti comes through.
Tempered Fate finds Beishuan. On now, very low as well. Spiraling Despair connecting onto the jungler as Quad's got a flash to make sure that he doesn't get killed by Elk. Nice max range, Chains of Corruption. Quad is sniped down, but it buys enough time for the rest of FlyQuest to claim their Baron.
Yeah, they'll be happy.
You go forward. I think you put the push music on and you start pushing.
Magical journey.
There it is. Busio and Whippo going after Bin. Deadly Flourish from downtown. And Bin flashes to try to live through it. That haymaker. It's a
Getting all the
five-knuckle.
kills, but Busio, the supporting cast, has been setting up all these plays, and now BLG look to respond.
Inspired flashing out of the way of Nature's Grab, trying to make sure that he doesn't get blown up here at the very start of the fight. Drops the Subjugate and turns on. Tempered Fate to buy Inspired time. He heals up with the King's Tribute, and BLG have already lost 3 men across the map. Knight flashing away, but the curtain call is opened, and the show is over in game 4. Triple kill for Masu. Elk is the last man standing, and he at least gets a kill into Busio, but now he's got to try to escape. Quad and Masu ready to fire as Spiraling Despair misses. Masu with the proc on the Hex Soul to slow down Elk. Guarantees the kill. Only Bin standing. FlyQuest are moving to the Nexus turrets. It's Yorick against Masu, Quad, and Whippo. On finally respawning as well. Maiden of the Mist wanting to buy some time as FlyQuest have made it onto the second Nexus turret. The Nexus open, vulnerable. Whippo forcing his way forward as Inspired puts in the work on the Nexus, and FlyQuest.
Oh, game 5 zillion.
North American Magic!
Oh, game 5 Zillion!
Somebody get Bjergsen on the phone!
Is Bjergsen here?
To defend, but of course BLG using this pressure to put the pressure onto Inspired.
As a smite.
Exactly, Inspired in danger, but it looks like he does secure his blue buff. Beishwan ready to try to flash blood, but his first blood over to Knight! He solo kills
Good
Quad.
trade, and the 1v1 has the level advantage, doesn't get the level 4. No, he does level up.
Just walks up and taunts him. Full combo.
Oh, like just full combo.
Easy.
FaZe Rush is just taking advantage of that, pushing him underneath this tower. The engage from Bwipo.
Yeah, Bwipo's going in after Bin. The Rumble is overheated as Bin tries to escape. He's still got the flash. Now Busio and Masu in the bottom lane looking to go aggressive as Bin gets away. Busio down to 100 HP, flashes in for the shield of Daybreak. Elk is about to die. It's a 1-for-1 trade. On gets the kill on Busio, as now Knight's looking to make a play in the mid lane once again on a Quad, who's down to 250 HP. On versus Masu in the bottom lane at the same time as Inspired's also...
Yep. Sees the red here. Leash is over. Also sees On.
I think this is ambitious. Knight has the ulti, remember?
Okay, immediately the invade from Inspired, gonna get punished! BLG!
He's gone for a huge amount outside of that ulti, and yeah, FlyQuest don't feel confident enough to fight. The arrow connects.
Beautiful shot from Elk, and the follow-up is just as good. BLG have found the heart of FlyQuest, and they're tearing it out. Inspired, second death this game. Busio might just die here again, as Quad drops a very early chrono shift, and it looks like BLG are ready to wait it out. Quad gets taunted up, he has to flash away. Busio surviving at 100 HP, only in time for the Nocturne to show up, and Beishwan to get the kill. On's ready to block the culling. BLG are up 2,500 gold in 11 minutes into the game. Almost 600 gold to Bin's Rumble.
Inspired.
Finds On, but the support Shen making some distance for now. Busio jumps in there with the Zenith Blade, but here comes Knight! Equalizer ready to make this fight go BLG's way. Inspired is dead again. BLG have low health bars, but FlyQuest don't have the damage. Quad makes his way over, but he's just killed instead. A double kill for Knight as Bin's protected by Stand United, and the taunt's ready to find another. BLG get 3, and FlyQuest just look lost.
A house that was filled
15
with...
minutes in, Knight goes in to cut off the escape route for Bwipo, and now he and Bin are looking for another kill. Beishwan shows up just to secure it, and BLG are almost 5,000 gold ahead. Has been invisible early on. We know the champion struggles early, but it's had no impact. Now again, BLG making another play. It's Beishwan and Knight, the arrow, ready to join up and guarantee they've got a little extra firepower, but they still don't have the kill secured. Beishwan with a Dustbringer on the very end. Bwipo alive with just a little bit of HP. The caster minions, oh, they get him low. He was down to 20 HP, but he lives. Inspired's not gonna, and that's another kill for Knight. 11-1.
OG, man, the caliber of this team. Kobe, you already said it. They've been to back-to-back MSI finals in a row, and they don't want to be stopping anytime soon. Inspired trying to get away from Knight's heroic entrance as Busio throws a defensive solar flare. BLG still going forward. Inspired trying to get away. Bwipo's in the middle of everybody, but BLG's too far ahead. FlyQuest lose 4, BLG lose nothing. A triple kill to Bin.
It's simple devastation. An admirable attempt from FlyQuest.
Looks like they're going to start to get the rest of these towers. All these outers are so low. Dragon picked up at the same time. BLG know they have complete control of the map and they can take it all.
It's not a common sight that at 15 minutes into the game, you see a half HP 80 carry step up to finish a turret while the enemy mid laner
ails FlyQuest, because otherwise BLG have just been so much better here in game 5. On does get tagged, tries to get away. Solar Flare slows him down, but no stun means On gets away. BLG still grouped up around this bottom side, around the Otacon. FlyQuest using resources there. Now BLG confident to try to step up a little bit further. Knight waiting off to the side on a control ward. Inspired hit with the arrow, hit with the Nocturne, hit with the Galio. Inspired's already gone, and now they're not ready to stop. Masu gets another early Zillion ulti from Quad, so they immediately change their focus and switch over to Busio. BLG 17-1, 10,000 gold lead.
Cleanly executed once more by BL. 10,000, 17 kills to 1.
Yeah, this whole series had been close, back and forth, but this one is not that at all. Completely one-sided. Knight here, though, under attack, gets executed.
Finally a kill comes through for FlyQuest. 1,000 gold shutdown for Bwipo's Urgot as Ben tries to escape Masu's culling, but the firepower back from BLG is way too strong. Elk's on a killing spree. He flashes forward for some focused fire. Quad's gonna be his next target as he revives himself, and Busio's left to die. Masu's still burning, and Beishuan wants another Dustbringer. He's got the kill credit there onto the Leona as Busio drops, and now Inspired and Masu are the only ones left standing. BLG marching down mid lane.
But BLG just respond by getting 3 kills of their own. They're gonna put themselves on sole point. And you have to feel that when that Baron spawns, they will not waste.
Hoping for some sort of brush play maybe, getting there early with the vision.
Okay, On walks into the brush. They are gonna find him here. Shut down to Inspired. FlyQuest get kill number 3.
Nice pick. These are the type of traps that FlyQuest need to be fit.
On Ben to bring On into the mix. Knight also looking here. Busio and Bwipo. The one's not close to the turret. Bwipo's gonna get taunted immediately. On dropping the Spirit's Refuge, trying to front line, but he's gonna be pulled into the grinder. Bwipo gets another kill.
I mean, On was the one that kept getting
Steal,
caught.
crazy sort of action to pop off.
We're gonna need something really crazy for FlyQuest to have a chance here. On. Grabbed there by Busio's Zenith Blade, but not under any real pressure. We'll see if they want to engage. There it is. Enchanted Crystal Arrow finds the Leona. Busio down to half HP. Forced to flee. Resurrected by Quad, but now the Chrono Shift is already down. Inspired dealing with Beishuan off to the side. On doesn't hit the taunt. Busio wants to go into the back, but he's already dead. Ben, godlike. FlyQuest, no chance.
I mean, the good news for FlyQuest is that a lot was just used by BLG. If Inspired can get within range of the Baron, there's a possibility of a steal, but BLG aren't even starting the objective.
The objective is kill FlyQuest, and BLG are happy to oblige. Beishuan unstoppable, Inspired dead. Galio with a grand entrance yet again, a double kill for the BLG jungler. Knight goes over the wall, but the taunt doesn't find a target. BLG's already got the minion wave, and they'll knock down the tier 3 turret. No Baron required.
They can go get it at their leisure right now. Turn around.
He has to try. What other option do FlyQuest really have?
Well, there's no Solar Flare available. Inspired just now respawned. Enchanted Crystal Arrow hit another target, and Quad's gonna die before he can even cast a spell. TP coming in from FlyQuest, but it just doesn't matter. Ben's got another double kill. Masu's got another death. Inspired wants an angle here. He jumps in after Beishuan and goes for Elk. Inspired with a shutdown, but it's just a drop in the bucket now. Bwipo's chasing after Ben, but Inspired's already been killed, and only Bwipo's left standing. Ben with a flash, another kill comes through. BLG with the ace.
It's a clean, at the cost of Elk, they're able to ace all of FlyQuest. It looks like they're not going to try and end the game though. The
World semis between RNG and OMG, that was the previous record of a kill differential of 23.
Oh, it's just put the pot shots in on that mid lane inhib. Now the arrow fires out, but Bwipo doing a good job buffering through it, trying to use the disdain to get away, but the tier 3 turret is already about to die. FlyQuest have no lines to defend. BLG will claim the first inhibitor and move on to the second.
All right, second one picked up effortlessly. FlyQuest, they need that miracle with the
trap. Up to the top side. Tier 2 turret the target. This is the only lane with any turrets left standing at all in it. As the other 2 inhibitors are down, Knight's going to be the target, but BLG are ready to back him up. Stand united plus Paranoia to reinforce the mid laner. The CC on the Bwipo. Busio stuck at the front line. He tries to get away and survives for now. FlyQuest trying to find any angle they might have, but they can't get anything.
Knight even dodging the ultimate from Urgot there as they try and engage on him. So many things to cover, and
oh, look at Inspired's health just melt. Elk with 3 fully completed items just tears through these health bars.
The back, Beishuan trying to get a bit of health back from the jungle camps.
Okay, Beishuan's at half HP. Teleport coming in from On to join up with the rest of the team. Equalizer dropped as the final tier 3 turret will be killed. Ben taking a lot of damage, but he still has the stasis ready to defend. Bwipo gets the Chrono Shift, but it won't matter. Quad's gonna die first. Inspired with a Guardian Angel, but he's nowhere near the defense point as Bwipo's about to die. Elk flashes in, and BLG scrambles to protect him. Beishuan versus Inspired off to the side, but the rest of of BLG is on the march. They were pushed to the edge, but BLG stand tall and eliminate FlyQuest from MSI.